Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We're hanging out in the VAB a little bit today because in order to make some money, which you'll notice I have quite a significant amount more now than I did at the end of last episode, we are going to, alright, I made a bunch of money because I took a contract to put 3 Kerbals in low Earth orbit for a total of 8 days. So this is our 3 Kerbal command pod. We're going to put it up on this DN-1A. This upper stage might change, but we'll get to that as we get into the building. So I'm going to build out the part that's going to be recovered, and then a small service module under that. And we'll attach this, check our delta V, and see where we stand. We might not need this section at all for a low Earth orbit mission, and we got to do this kind of frugally because I would like to hang on to as much of this money as possible because I'd like to not go bankrupt again. So I'm going to get to the building part of this, and which will probably be sped up in post, and I'll see you guys in just a few minutes. So this build process is pretty simple, and it's more about figuring the capabilities of the rocket and being able to expand from there rather than building something that's purpose-built like we've done in the past. So it really is just a back to basics, very simple style service module and command pod. And of course we need the launch escape system because we've needed those in the past, we may need it again. And then boom, we're done. Alright everybody, sorry about that weird jump there. KSP crashed on me. Again, this is kind of becoming an irritating occurrence, but I have kind of finished this thing out. As you can see, we've got our, what is it, TKS command pod. Takes 3 Kerbals. This is all, yeah, I probably went over this in what little of the speed build that before the game crashed. Worked out a service module, decided to go with 2 AJ-10 Advanced. We've got 2 fuel cells. These little tanks here contain liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen, solar panels just in case. Thrusters that are all hopefully, oh god, why can't I get the scroll wheel right? All balanced, so should we need to dock this with anything, we can do it. Parachutes that have been tuned to the correct altitude. And below that we have a standard DN-1A. No changes from here on down. The impressive part here is that with the command pod completely locked, we're still getting 11,745 meters per second. And that is inaccurate because it doesn't really take into account our boosters and this traveling after the boosters have separated. So I do imagine this is a lunar capable launch vehicle even without adding additional boosters, which is why I've included some room here, and honestly it'll look a lot less goofy if I extended this up enough to fit maybe a lunar lander underneath there, but we will get to that later on, provided, I don't know, if we get a contract to do it. Otherwise I'm probably not going. Oh damn it, that was not what I meant to click. So wow, whoop, there we go. Stay, thank you. Are you gonna let me highlight? There we are. So I can put all of these fairings on now, and we're going to take it out for a quick test flight. So build time's only 71 days, but I'm certainly not going to fly this without at least having run a simulation on it first. 25 minutes seems appropriate. I think that'll give us enough time to get into orbit and suss out our situation from there. Alright, we'll close that. And we do have to let our boosters fuel a little bit. Like I said, the previous delta V numbers are inaccurate by quite a lot. Wow. Bounce. Why am I using physics warp? Bounce. Let's use standard warp, shall we? Oh, that's gorgeous. And those should be topped off. Those are topped off. All right. Let's go ahead and get this launch underway here at sunset. And now showing 13,000 meters per second on the board. That's certainly lunar capable, although we don't have the added weight of a lunar lander vehicle. We also can expand this upper stage, maybe with a single J2. Let's light them up. All engines are lit. Let's get those clamps off. And wow, that's quite an oomph off the pad there. I think our we were showing 1.6 as our thrust to weight ratio at launch. I really thought I was going to have to add another set of boosters to this. I guess not. It seems weird that this thing weighed less than some of the satellites we've been, or the probes we've been launching recently. But I'm just going to keep a solid eye here on our G indicator, and should anything go tragically wrong, I will stop the fast forwarding, and you can catch a big pile of my expletives, same as before. Or same as always, I should say. Alright, so hopefully I will see all of you in orbit. Yeah, well, we've had a loss of thrust on one of our engines. Maybe it's just a loss of ISP. No, definitely a loss of thrust. Our G levels dropped. That is it. Yeah, we're getting about 400 some odd kilonewtons from it instead of the 900. But we're at stage SEP anyway, so boom. We'll just give that a quick kick. And we are now onto our upper stage, and yeah, we have passed our apoapsis. That's okay, we've got a little room to slide downhill, not a very big deal. We don't actually have to burn very much of this stage. Let's do a quick RCS check. Good. I locked all of these tanks, which is why they're not doing much of anything. Alright, just a little bit of circularization to do here, and then we'll be in a pretty good orbit, hopefully. And there it is, the camera realignment. Periapsis is out of the atmosphere. 216 by 181 kilometers. That's probably not quite good enough to fulfill our contract, but hey, other than a little bit of throttling down shortly after liftoff of the main or the core stage J2s, this thing proved perfectly Kerbal rated. I don't think we ever really got past about 3G, which makes it slightly more comfortable than a Saturn V to ride to orbit, and just the capsule. I mean, without any lunar anything, we got 3,200 meters per second left here in our cryo stage, plus another 3,000 or so meters per second here in the service module. As this stands currently, it is certainly lunar rated. We could make some improvements to this upper stage, maybe change 4 of these out for a single J2 and expand the tanks a bit. And we have something that is certainly lunar lander capable, and that's pretty awesome. This might be something, a rocket that I am fairly proud of, but as far as our orbital contract is concerned, we'll probably be ditching this early after getting our orbit circularized so that we can deploy our panels and get everything else all kinds of set up. Like, I don't know. This is going to make it really awkward trying to turn on these guys, although... wow. What? No, damn it. Super frustrating having to look on the insides of things to do much of anything. There we go. So let me just zoom out. Don't click anything. You can go away. Activate fuel cell. There we go. Fuel cell is running, which does, that's only one of 2, so we're showing a pretty serious draw on our electric charge, 1.6. I imagine that's because of the core that's attached to this. So like I said before, we will be ditching stuff, but this is certainly capable for what we need it for, and definitely capable of a whole lot more, which is awesome. Station building and stuff, which is why I thought I needed a heavier lifter that wasn't quite so expensive anyway. So All right, well, I'm going to let these guys hang out in simulated orbit for another 9 minutes or so, but I won't make you sit through that. That's going to do it for us today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I do appreciate it. I hope you are enjoying our hopeful return to crewed flight in the very near future, even though it is just for money. So, thanks again, everybody. I will see all of you next time. Till then, see you later.